Welcome back to the Magic Board Quest. Today we've got a history lesson with Marc Andreini and Kirk Putnam. If you haven't seen part one of going through Marc's personal boards, go check it out. Otherwise, enjoy.
Well, I was living in Hawaii, so I was writing down
Where?
railers. 73,
Where are you
74. Wow.
Oh, neat. This is killer. Whoa.
It went from the Yater spoon. George makes the spoon.
Yeah.
Surfs in Australia with McTavish.
Yeah.
They're writing spoons.
Yeah.
Spoons get whittled down in 65, 66, and they get thinned out like Son of Sam.
Uh-huh.
So now you got Sam. McTavish starts whacking away at those boards and comes up with the V-bottom. While at the same time,
Wow.
Brewer's making boards for Gary Chapman and Lopez, and
Right.
he's making
For
miniguns
Hawaii.
at the same time.
So these were the original shortboards.
Oh my
in
gosh.
68.
It comes together in Maui in 68.
And so by 69,
Yes.
Wilderness starts up. And it's basically George Greeno and his buddies, and they're copying the way he surfs on his spoon. And
Uh-huh.
so this board,
Holy.
Richie
This,
West.
this is a guy shaped at Wilderness, George's really good friend who is in Crystal Voyager.
Whoa.
This is Richie's 5-footer. So if
Wow,
you
look at the
a
S
few
deck on that thing.
This is
Oh,
a
interesting, yeah.
version.
He made
Look
a
at that.
stand-up
And
version
Richie
of
was
the-
about
Whoa.
Richie was only
Whoa.
about 5 feet tall. So this was his stand-up version of that board.
No way.
So this is a copy of George's Velo.
Wow.
In 70, you get Wayne Lynch and Sea of Joy.
Wow.
By 69, boards are getting shorter.
Uh-huh.
So this is like what Wayne Lynch was writing in Sea of Joy. It's like a double ender, very little rocker, a little
Yeah.
bit of V behind the tail.
Oh my gosh.
So this would have been 1970.
Yeah.
So in 70, early 69, late 69, 70, all of a sudden Hinson's making down railers.
Well, I was living in Hawaii, so I was writing down
Where?
railers.
Where you-
73,
where you living?
74. Wow.
I have a running joke about living in Hawaii.
So, but anyway, so the hulls continued
Yeah.
because this would be, 70s going
Right.
into the 80s.
Uh-huh.
You set this down. So Greg Little goes down a big deep rabbit hole.
Yeah.
When intermuscle meats comes out,
Wow.
when you set these down
Ooh, see a knifey.
like this,
Oh wow.
and you compare them, and then
Yeah.
set down the rail,
Holy.
you can see that where the influence is. So this board really is still, even though it's been refined over 40
Yeah.
plus 5 years, or still very Greeno influence.
So very few people, you can't hardly count them on one hand,
Uh-huh.
stayed with the original displacement hull
Mm-hmm.
type of surfboard. And so this is, you're seeing really where it all went.
Right.
And a little, I'd say, is the anchor,
Yeah.
that did it. And I started making, my version in 74
25.
when I came back from Hawaii.
Where?
Wow!
Oh, here we go.
I've never done it on this one. This one was made in 68 at Bain.
Oh, this is so awesome. Yeah, look at that. It's so beautiful.
Look how much V is in that thing.
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way off the back of the board, see?
Wow.
That made it
Yeah.
track.
Look at it. It's a ton in the back.
And what would happen is that when you put it on the rail, it just turned right out of the wave.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Just keep on.
That's
turning.
awesome.
And so that was one of the problems with them.
Yeah.
With them, because George's board was flat in the back.
Uh-huh.
And so it
Yeah.
was,
Whoa, cool.
and it's flexible, so when you're turning
Yeah.
the board, it would bend.
Whoa,
as it bends.
cool. Wow.
You can see how much roll.
Yeah, that's,
See how it goes
I've never
through
seen
this
so
huge
much
stone.
belly in something.
Well, it made it take a really good big wave to make it come alive.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because they're pushing a ton of water.
It didn't work that good in wave
Yeah.
surf.
Right.
And a board like that, they don't technically push water on a proper wave that's vertical.
Right.
But if a wave's just real slopey,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
then it does.
Of course, yeah.
But it's made for waves.
When it's
that are
on
really
rail and you're
tall,
in the
'cause
pocket,
if
yeah.
the wave's going this way,
Yeah.
all that curve. This is the board that I built for chasing Dora,
Oh, wow.
which follows his story about throwing down the gauntlet against pro surfing.
Yeah.
So that's a whole separate story.
Oh.
You can read about that.
Yeah.
So that's a balsa redwood varnish,
Amazing.
no petrochemicals.
Wow.
It's all
cool.
natural.
Yep.
And then this is, Rennie made 16 copies of his favorite board from 1959,
Oh, wow.
which was his first foam surfboard.
Wow. Cool.
And it's called the Gray Lady. And
Whoa, neat.
it's his favorite board of all time.
Wow.
So I have that one.
Wow, amazing.
And then this is a copy of when White Owl made a poor boy model, mainly for me and my brother and a few of our friends, because we were cheap and poor.
Wow,
And
cool.
so they put a single layer of cloth on each side, single stringer, simple shape, and then they only charged $100 instead of 115. And then this is one of 4. Rennie made
Sheesh.
an Apocalypse board.
Yeah.
I believe he made 1,200 of them,
Uh-huh.
and they were in the movie Apocalypse Now.
Oh, cool.
And Thomas Campbell wanted one that he could surf, so he wanted a 9.6. He
Oh,
said, "Do
cool.
you think you can get Rennie to make me one?" And Rennie doesn't do stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
But I talked him
Nice.
into it. So he did 4 or
Okay.
5. And so just a small group of us have them. Thomas
Cool.
Campbell and Travis Reynolds did the glass work.
Oh, neat.
And then this was a copy of my first custom White Owl.
Oh, wow.
Would be, I believe, 63.
Wow.
I'm gonna say. So I just made a small batch of these, and I just kept one of them for myself.
Cool.
So it's same stringers, fin, everything.
Yeah.
And then this is a copy of probably my second White Owl when they made
Yeah.
the flow-through fin.
How's this thing? That looks crazy.
That's a D fin with
Yeah.
the center.
I've always
move.
wondered how that goes.
It just is easier to turn,
Huh.
but it still surfs like a D fin board, which is nice. It's got that rounded out
Yeah.
turn.
Cool.
And that was before everybody shifted to the Greeno tuna fin, which is
Okay, yeah.
reduced area,
Sure.
and those work a lot better.
Yeah.
This is a copy, I think I was only made 3 of these. And I made the stringer out of a water tower and did all this stuff. But this board is a copy of the White Owl Waimea Bay board
Wow.
that hung in the Summerlin shop
Cool.
during my childhood.
Wow.
And it was a really cool board, and it had these huge redwood stringers.
Yeah.
And it had these panels on it. And so one of them hangs in the beach house, and the original one's in Hawaii with Jeff White's son.
Oh, cool.
And then I have one, and Roger Nance has one.
Trying to be modest?
Yeah.
One does to show. At the
Yeah, I
board
see
in front.
that.
Then this was a copy of which I also made a limited number of,
Oh, so cool.
14.
Wow.
Of the only concave nose White Owl that was ever made was made for me.
Oh, wow.
Brian Bradley was the shaper.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, that's awesome. The team jacket.
that's a 1965 special.
That's so cool.
I could not put it on anymore. This was just a project for the trade show where anyone was invited, but you could only be one person could touch the board, and you had to have a picture of you doing every step.
Oh, wow.
We're talking making
Cool.
the fin,
Yeah, yeah.
glassing, shaping.
Wow, cool.
And so the other two only 3 of us, if you can believe that there only 3 of us volunteered to do it, because
Wow.
not that many people can
Yeah,
make a whole
every
board
step. Wow.
from scratch, right? And so the other 2 guys were Roger Hines and Gene Cooper, 2 of the most perfectionist board builders that live.
Whoa.
And there's no way I'm going to even try and compete with them,
Yeah.
because they do this super high anal quality work.
Yeah.
And I just like make a board that's going to work good.
Right.
And looks cool. I think they just gave us all, like, attaboy, for doing it, But
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what's the story with this thing? This
Same
looks
thing.
cool.
Marc made everything
Really?
by hand.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's true. This is when in the era when every board I made from scratch,
Right.
including
Look
the
at that
fan.
fin. Holy smokes.
So this is in 1972, and somebody found that in a dumpster. It was all beat up.
Yeah.
My friend Bob Leonelli found that.
Really? Found it in the dumpster?
Yes, and brought it to me.
No
and then
way.
I had Mike Wash restore it. This is the oldest board that I own that I had made.
Oh, really? Cool.
Because I was made boards starting in '68.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I don't have any of those.
Right. Yeah.
And those were made with no power tools by hand. I never owned a power tool.
Whoa.
When I made this one, I would have had a planer and a sander.
Okay, cool.
I was advanced by then.
Yeah. Futuristic.
But when I look at this, it's like, that's not bad I would have been maybe 21 years old, but I was making them for a living,
Yeah. 22.
Killer.
So it's funny. So there's a board I made, 5 or 6 years ago from
Yeah.
scratch, and here's
Right.
one I made 55 years ago from
How
scratch.
neat. Oh my gosh, that's so
So
cool.
I know how to do it.
Yeah.